Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Leatherneck Insider. I'm Avery Thompson.
And I'm Logan Wheeler.
After an exciting week of great performances, we have a new Leatherneck Insider Athlete of the Week. Here's Austin with this week's winner, J.R. Hevelin.
Hello everyone, my name is Austin Holznagel and I'm here with J.R. Hevelin, this week's Leatherneck Insider Athlete of the Week presented by Wildfire Bar and Grill. First off, J.R., you've been swinging a hot bat recently. Congrats on that and winning this award. You've had hits in 8 of your last 10 games. What kind of approach have you been taking at the plate and what have you kind of changed so that you've started to swing that hot bat?
I've just really been buying into the approach that, we've been working on all year as a team. And, one of the big things that I try to do is just play for my teammates. And, when you do that, good things happen. So just kind of ride the wave, keep it rolling as long as we can.
Yeah, and you guys are coming off a tough series against Eastern Illinois here in Macomb, and now you're going on the road to play one of the hottest teams, not only in the OVC, but in all of college baseball. What's been the focus and the message kind of throughout the locker room going into this series?
It's been the same thing as it's been all year. Everything that we're still trying to achieve is in front of us. So we're going to go compete and, we play our game, do the right things. Maybe something good will happen and just same game we've been playing since we were kids. So nothing really changes. The goal remains the same and just kind of have fun and see what happens.
All right, and I've heard you're a big Pirates fan, and so I'm thinking of Pirates players, but you can pick anyone new or old. Who's a player you've kind of molded your game after or modeled your game after as you've been growing up playing baseball?
Yeah, so huge Pirates fan. Got to give them a shout out because they're hot right now. But I've always been a big Josh Donaldson fan. The way that he plays the game, and I've kind of modeled my swing off of him when I was younger at the start of my college career and developed it into my own. So I think he's had a pretty big influence on who I am as a baseball player. He can be intense at times. I try to keep it a little bit looser, a little bit lighter, but he plays the game the right way and he's had success. So I really like Donaldson.
Don't want to get ejected by stomping on home plate?
No, absolutely not. That'd be a big no-no. Bad look, but once again, he's got that passion, and I try to play with passion anytime I step on the field, so just try to go about it the right way.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview, JR, and congratulations on winning this award. I will be looking forward to all the series this year between my Brewers and your Pirates.
Absolutely. Go Bucks.
And for Leatherneck Insider, I'm Austin Holznagel.
Hevelin and the Leathernecks are currently in Moorhead, Kentucky, taking on Moorhead State, but will be back at home next weekend for a 3-game series against the SIUE Cougars.
The WIU baseball team had a rough stretch after getting swept by Tennessee Tech in Eastern Illinois. The pitcher pitched a great game. Jason Bull pitched 7 innings, allowing 4 hits, 2 runs, and 7 strikeouts. Leathernecks have non-conference games against Southern Illinois, Carbondale, Illinois, and Bradley. The Leathernecks are currently in the middle of a 3-game series against Moorhead State. Games are today at 1 p.m. and tomorrow at 12 p.m. Both games will be on ESPN+.
USA Softball Women's National Team announced that WIU softball head coach Elisa Goller as an assistant head coach for the U18 and elite teams. Goller will head to camp on June 26 in Oklahoma City. Leatherneck Insider reporter Kobe Blackman has more.
WIU women's softball head coach Alyssa Goller was named an assistant coach for USA Softball with elite U18 programs. I got a chance to speak with her and where she was when she heard the news.
When I found out, I was right in the middle of the workday. We had just got done with hitting, and I was going across the street, and I got an email saying that I had been officially selected for 2 teams. So I showed my staff, and I was like, "Hey, look!" And then we just went about our day to practice.
Goller is also excited to coach internationally and is excited to go to Japan.
I'm really excited to coach internationally. When I played pro, I had a lot of teammates that were from different countries that I played with. I played against some of that, but not any coaching, stuff with that. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to going to Japan. I've not been before.
Goller also reflects on how big this accomplishment was.
I think it's got to be up there. I think involvement with USA Softball when you're growing up is like one of the coolest things, and it's definitely got to be one of my top moments. I wish that my dad was still here to be able to watch me do that.
I'm Kobe Blackman from Leatherneck Insider.
Thanks, Kobe. The Leathernecks look to take on Lindenwood today at 2 p.m. Good luck, ladies.
Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll talk tennis and golf.
Not W?
It's not W, it's W. 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 That's what I've been stressing out about the most so far. It's saying W because I know it's something you're going to say there. Yeah, we've been there.
They're like, we're waiting on, what are we waiting on?
They haven't said anything. They said we're ready to go. We can start.
Hello everyone, I am Will Thomas.
And I'm Dane Mackley. Welcome to this week's edition of Leatherneck Insider.
The WIU tennis team season concluded after playing their last game against Lindenwood yesterday and currently playing their last game of the season against SIUE Cougars. Ben Polanco with more.
The WIU tennis team season is about to conclude and the OVC tournament is about to begin, and the team will need to prepare for the tournament. Coach Ogren says that his team needs to get and stay healthy prior to the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, for us, with our health not being great, it's all been about trying to recover from where we were and trying to get back to where we need to be. We know how good we can be when we're full health, so it's been a lot of recovery and trying to get back there.
With Senior Day played this past Friday, Coach Ogren talks about the seniors' last home match and the team coming together.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to, they put in 4 years of time, so it's a lot of time, a lot of effort, and for most of them, they started playing when they were 3 or 4 years old. So it's a really big deal for them to be able to be here and play potentially the last home match they ever play. And it's, a really big kind of coming together of all the work they put in over the years.
The OVC tournament will be on April 19th through April 21st in St. Louis, Missouri. For Leatherneck Insider, I'm Ben Polanco.
The OVC tournament will be on April 19th through the 21st in St. Louis, Missouri. Good luck, Leathernecks.
WIU men's golfer Luke Lofgren recently brought home a top 3 finish for the Leathernecks at the WIU Intercollegiate last weekend. This is the best finish a WIU golfer has ever had at the end of a tournament. Lofgren's score was 216, 3 over. Lofgren shot a combined 3 under in the final 2 rounds and had 7 birdies throughout the tournament overall. The team finished in 6th place. Earlier this week, the Leathernecks wrapped up their final spring meet at the Stampede at the Creek in Nebraska. The Leathernecks had another top 3 finish. This time it was Mateo Razcon. Razcon finished in 2nd place shooting at an even par. He also finished with not 1 but 2 eagles in the tournament. The Leathernecks now look ahead to the Ohio Valley Conference meet next weekend.
Sticking with golf, the WIU women's golf team brought home 2nd place at the WIU Intercollegiate last weekend. Olivia Kerr and Michaela Musato finished in the top 10 while everyone else finished in the top 21. Kerr shot 288, 15 over, while Musato shot 230, 17 over. This is the 2nd year in a row the women's golf team has placed 2nd at the WIU Intercollegiate. The women's team has their conference meet coming up this weekend in Tukena, Mississippi.
It looks like the NCAA basketball season has officially come to a close. Leatherneck Insider reporter Luke Little joins us for the final March Madness update. What do you have for us, Luke?
Well, guys, we talked about the Final Four and how the end of the season was almost here. And this week, this season's college basketball and March Madness is officially over. UConn has won their 2nd straight national championship after beating the Purdue Boilermakers 75-60. UConn became the first team to win back-to-back since the 2006-2007 Florida Gators. In the national championship game, Tristan Newton led the way for UConn with 20 points and 7 assists, while the National Player of the Year, Zach Edey, had 37 and produced 60 points, along with 10 rebounds. The Huskies blew through every team they faced in the tournament with a margin of victory of 23.3 points per game, second only to John Wooden and UCLA in 1967. UConn also never trailed in the second half of a single game in this year's March Madness. The Huskies now become the only team to ever win 12 games of March Madness in a row by 10 or more points, going back to last season's March Madness. UConn now has a total of 6 national titles in school history, which puts them in 3rd place all-time alongside North Carolina. The only 2 schools with more national title wins are Kentucky with 8 and UCLA with 11. This is the 6th national title for the Huskies in only 25 years since 1999. Dan Hurley and his Huskies now have a chance to become the 2nd team to ever win 3 national titles in a row. The only other team to ever do so was John Wood and UCLA, who had won a record 7 championships in a row from 1967 to 1973. There were some rumors about the possibility of Husky head coach Dan Hurley leaving UConn to replace John Calipari in Kentucky, but Hurley laughed these rumors off, saying that he plans to make a dynasty in modern times. But what about you guys? What do you think? Is this the beginning of the dynasty for UConn, or is they at their end?
I'd definitely say that UConn can keep making a run and keep building a dynasty as long as they have Hurley there and they keep bringing in new recruits and getting good recruiting classes. They could definitely stay on top for a long time.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the only thing that they have to think about is all the seniors that are leaving and trying to fill that big spot with all of those empty spots that need to be filled. Coming up next, we head to the football field to discuss WIU spring football.
Your vision.
My goal is to work at a top 100 television station as a reporter, anchor, and a producer.
Our mission.
Thanks to Western, I have a resume that would beat out most students from the top journalism schools in the country.
This is Western Illinois University.
I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
Glad you're back with us. The WIU women's track and field team heads into their next meet with some huge momentum after an impressive outing in the Redbird Challenge. The women's track and field team placed 2nd overall in the meet as a team scoring 145 points. Aaliyah Adams led the way with a 3-event winning performance in the long jump, triple jump, and the 4x100, along with Renee Ragland, Reza Durr, and Savannah Harvey. Jasmine Stokes took home 1st overall in the women's hammer throw while throwing a personal best. With only 4 more regular season track and field events left before the postseason, the women's team is heating up at the right time. The track and field team is back in action on April 13th at the SIU Cougar Classic.
The WIU football team continued their spring practice with new head coach Joe Davis. As the season is getting closer, tickets will become available on Monday, April 15th. You can purchase your season tickets for the Western Illinois Fighting Leathernecks. The Leathernecks will host their annual Bruce Craddock spring game on Friday, April 19th at Hanson Field.
The Leathernecks will begin their season on the road for a 3-game road trip against Northern Illinois, Indiana, and Illinois State before heading back home against McKendree for their home opener. For more information about the Leatherneck schedule, visit goleathernecks.com.
Stay tuned because we have short takes coming up.
Western Illinois University. Our beginnings in 1902 focused on providing affordable teacher education training. We've changed with the times and excelled through the years. Today, Western is positioned for the next 100 years and beyond. Affordability of diverse academic programs, outstanding learning opportunities, and hands-on experiences provide excellent job placement for our graduates. This is Western, forever Western.
Welcome back. The Macomb Bombers baseball team was able to snap their 5-game losing streak last week as they beat Monmouth Roseville 8-6. The Bombers also started conference play this week, taking on West Prairie on Wednesday. The Bombers won a very high-scoring 19-13 game. The Bombers continue conference play this morning as they played Peoria Heights on the road. Taking a look at the Bombers' upcoming schedule this weekend, they play Spoon River Valley in a home conference match on Monday. Then they head down to Quincy on Wednesday to take on the Blue Devils at 4:30. The Bombers wrap up the week with a road conference matchup against Savannah.
Switching to softball, the Macomb High Bombers softball team is looking to continue their hot start. Currently with a record of 4-2, they're ready to get into the thick of conference play. Leatherneck Insider reporter Marty Doyle has more.
After the Lady Bombers' 4-0 start, they dropped 2 in a row. Looking to get back into the win column, head coach Christy Roosh is stressing the small details and learning from the team's mistakes.
Right now, we're really just focusing on trying to keep building every single game. We started off really well, and then we had a couple setbacks. And we tried to just really focus on addressing our mistakes and learning from our mistakes. And we really work our strategy and practices on what we need to address based on what happened in the previous game. So it's just every game building and trying to get better.
After all the cancellations due to weather, Coach is keeping the team motivated and focused on the schedule ahead.
Just focusing on the little things. Again, trying to be very intentional in our practices. We had to be inside several days, which isn't as much fun once you've been outside, going back inside. So we just tried to focus those drills on being very intentional with the way we're trying to improve from our early season games.
Coach Roosh also shows her appreciation for the seniors for all the time they spent on the diamond and their all-field leadership.
All of them. We have 3 seniors. They're all returning starters. Ellie Duncan, she's our center fielder. She really takes command out in the outfield. She's a great communicator and just always leads by example. We've got Kennedy Allensworth. She's in the pitcher circle, but also works in the outfield too. And she takes command when she's out there on the mound. And then we've got Zoe Wagner. She's our first baseman, and she does a lot of the communication in the infield for us. So.
For Leatherneck Insider, I'm Marty Doyle.
The Lady Bombers are on the road against Farmington today before a busy week hosting Hamilton on Thursday and going on the road for a matchup with Galesburg on Friday. First pitch for both games is scheduled for 4:30.
It is now time to send it over to Leatherneck Insider reporter Jalen Short for the newest edition of Short Takes. What are the 5 topics today, Jay Short?
Thanks, guys. And now let's start off with South Carolina. They completed the perfect season, 38-0, and they are national champions. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think South Carolina is one of the best women's college teams to ever play. They can compete with those UConn teams, with Breanna Stewart, with Maya Moore, and those teams in that era. So they just prove that they're one of the best. They have the personnel, they have the talent. And Dawn Staley, she's one of the best coaches in college basketball. Now let's move on to arguably the most talented player in college basketball history, Caitlin Clark. She will shine in the WNBA. Her talent will translate, her shooting will translate. However, she just needs to get stronger. She needs to get wiser with her shots, with her ability to find teammates. She's a great passer. However, she kind of forces passes in moments, but her talent should definitely translate to the WNBA, and she will be one of the best players in the WNBA in years to come. Let's move on to Bronny James. Should he go to the NBA? Yes, he should. This topic has been going around for these past few days, and Bronny James is ready to be in the NBA. 6'3", 6'4" guard. He's kind of a 3-and-D type of player. His specialty is not scoring the ball. He's a defender. He can shoot the ball. And if you look at the NBA, the way the game is played today, that's exactly what's in the NBA right now. You have wings, you have guards who can score the ball, who can defend. Now let's talk about the Golden State Warriors. Is the dynasty over? I think it is. But when you have a team like that with those type of players, they're capable of winning you a series in the playoffs. They're capable of taking you maybe to another second round of the playoffs because they have the personnel, they have the guys who can shoot the ball. Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time. Klay Thompson, you still have Draymond Green who can do some things as well, and they have some young pieces there. But overall, I don't think that they can take that next step unless they get a younger player who can kind of revamp that whole organization and help Steph along the way. Now last, let's move to the NFL and talk about Stephon Diggs going to the Houston Texans. Now everyone's saying that they can compete with the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending champions. And in my opinion, I definitely agree. When you have C.J. Stroud coming off his rookie season, playing great football, was in an MVP conversation for a while, Stephon Diggs, one of the best receivers in the NFL, I think that they definitely can compete with the Kansas City Chiefs and give them a run for their money. They're going to win their division, and they're going to have to obviously compete with teams that were top in the AFC, especially Baltimore last season with their addition with Derrick Henry. But overall, I think the Houston Texans have the personnel. DeMeco Ryans leading that team. He's one of the best coaches in the NFL. So I think they'll compete with Kansas City in the AFC. Now, going back to Bronny James, guys, I'll send it back over to you. Do you guys think he's ready to be in the NBA right now?
Thanks, Jalen. I personally don't think that he's ready yet. I think since he only has 1 year of college under his belt, I think he needs to get at least 2 more years of experience so that way he's able to get more of that practice that he needs to go into the NBA. What do you think?
I'd definitely say no for right now, but I'd say give it a year or two. You know, if LeBron's still in the league, that's great for him. But I'd say give it a year or two, let him develop a little bit more, possibly build up that scoring ability. But, well, that's all the time that we have for today. Come back next week for a brand new episode. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at InsiderWIU. The Leatherneck Insider, I'm Logan Wheeler.
And I'm Avery Thompson.